Sugihara. So it's on a night, but I think to get through all the presentations, we sort of have to be about time. So we'll try to keep as close to 10 minutes as we can, and I'll give you feedback. And then later on, I think you were agreeing to be the timekeeper.
Yes.
And so we'll wait it down to 3 minutes, and then 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Can everybody hear you? Sit close.
Hello.
I can pick up for this.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sakiko, and
I'm Yuka.
okay, so we are going to talk about the impact of school start time on the academic proficiency among K-12 students. So there are some previous studies that shown that earlier school start time affects students' academic proficiency, and delay in school start time actually can promote better sleep and good daytime functioning and improve in grades among students. Okay, so here is our objective. And actually we got the school start time information and academic proficiency from the State of Hawaii Department of Education. And so HDOE provided the information about academic proficiency, and it's determined by the National Assessment of Educational Progress. It's NAEP, and NAEP is the standardized testing. So we determine the relationship between school start time and academic proficiency. Oh. Okay, so here's our participants. So we got, so our participants are public school students in Hawaii who took NAEP, and sample size was more than 32,000 students out of 163,000 students in Hawaii. So, and for public schools, we got 251 out of 256 public schools in Hawaii. So, about 70% of public schools were elementary school. Okay, so this is our method. So we got legislative report. This is the recent report that shows school year and the instructional time. And we got this information from the HDOE website. And for our data analysis, we used correlation and simple linear regression as well. So before I move on to our result, I would like to show you this graph. So this graph shows that percentages of schools starting before 8:30 a.m. So as you can see this graph, more than 75% of public schools in vast majority in the United States start before 8:30 a.m. And also the Hawaii, can you see Hawaii here? So Hawaii also, for Hawaii, more than 75% schools start before 8:30 a.m. So here is the average of national public schools start time. So here's our results. So for our public school start time, we got average here for school start time for each group. And about 96% of public schools in Hawaii actually start before 8 a.m. So you can see that, as you can see the table here. So here's our correlations between school start time, elementary school start time, and the proficiencies. And well, as you can see this chart, the correlation is modest, but there is a significant correlation between math proficiency and science proficiency and school start time. And for reading proficiency and school start time, there is not actually we didn't get a significant correlation for that, but you can see that there is a trend for that, for reading and school start time. Okay, so here is a linear regression for elementary school start time and mathematics proficiency. So we got a significant regression for the mathematics and school start time. So scores of mathematics are likely to improve by 20% for each hypothetical hour delay in school start time. Okay. Same here. Same thing here. We got a significant regression as well for between science proficiency and elementary school start time. So scores of science proficiency are likely to improve by 50% for each hypothetical hour delay school start time. Okay, so since we didn't have significant correlation between reading proficiency and elementary school start time, so there is no significant regression for this. But there is slight positive slope here, so we could say that there is a positive trend. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to middle school. So as you can see here, we did not find significance. However, as you can observe here, there is a positive trend, a positive slope for each mathematics, reading, and science. Our assumption for not finding significance is that because we have relatively smaller sample size for middle school. It goes the same thing for high school. There was no significance, however, we can observe slight positive slope for linear regression. Through discussion, so we can see start time appears to relate to academic proficiency, especially for elementary school. And it was significant. And we did not find significance for middle school and high school because of the, however, the positive trend was found for both middle school and high school. Our limitation was the relatively smaller sample size for middle school and high school. Also, the limited range of start time. So I wanted to share with you that why it is important for us to study about this. As you can see here, Hawaii continued to score lower than national average. This is the reading. See, and it may not seem too far from national average, but can you guys guess what level proficiency is for state of Hawaii out of 50 states? But what rank? Can you guys guess?
We're the 40th ranked.
Because, thank you. So for reading, 4th grader is 45, and for 8th grade is 46. Oof. So it's very pretty. So for mathematics, for 4th grader actually outreached national average in 2013, and the 8th grade continued to score lower than national average. This graph may not, we actually outreached national average, however, for mathematics, both 4th grade and 8th graders rank 36th in the region. For science, both 4th grade and 8th grade continue to score lower than national average, and their rank in the nation is between 45 to 50. So implication from our study is delaying school start time may promote, at least 30 minutes of delaying school time may promote better sleep and academic proficiency, especially in mathematics and science, and data wakefulness among particularly younger students. And then we hope to do future experimental intervention. So this is our reference. And we'd like to thank our mentor, Dr. Turbo, and our research lab members. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you actually, I fell asleep on my job here.
Okay.
The talk was good, but my attention to this wasn't, so you actually were perfectly on time. So we have about 2 minutes, 3 minutes left for questions?
Please. Why do you think Hawaii continues to start schools early? I mean, I actually was shocked when I first came here. I'm from Iowa, one of the lighter colored schools, so most of our schools started around 9. So you're always shocked when I came here. I was like, wow, you guys are 7:30? I was like, wow, oh, okay, that's early. So I was amazed when that happened. I was wondering, why do you think there's a trend? Do you think it's our culture? Do you think there's some underlying reason why we desire to start so early here in Hawaii? Or...
Oh, yeah, good question.
Thank you for that question. I actually do not have the exact answer, and I was surprised because we both came from Japan and were surprised that school in Hawaii actually started really, really early. So, and my personal assumption is that probably culturally in Hawaii, both parents are more likely to be working. So I believe they need to get up in the early morning to drop off their kids and then go to work and come back and pick them up.
So a possible way to get people to actually use or apply your data would be actually start people working later?
Yes. Ideally maybe 8:30 or anytime after later than 8:30.
So one more question, please? Yeah.
So the question I had, because I've got a bunch of kids. So I guess the assumption is sleeping, that you're actually just taking away sleep time. So if I just set my kids to bed earlier, can we compensate for the early start time?
The answer is probably yes. However, as we all know, even though we try to send the kids to bed earlier, they probably are more likely to stay up later. And especially it's true for middle school and high school, they're going through puberty, so their sleep phase delayed, so they're biologically not forced, but they're more likely to prefer to sleep later around midnight. So if they're sleeping around midnight and they're forced to wake up at 6 to go to school, they're only getting 6 hours of sleep. So, but if you can start maybe 9, even though they go to bed 12, they have school at 9, maybe they can at least get 8 hours of sleep, which is not, it's a little bit less than what we actually want. But
It depends on the age of the kids. If they're post-puberty, then they're going to have a phase shift and they're going to want to go to bed later, and you're going to really have a hard time if you
My
try.
babies want to go to bed later.
Oh, you're in real trouble then. You have to go to Iowa.
Baby melatonin.
Okay. Well, very good. Thanks for the question.